Candy Month continues on. As this week we are looking back on those formative years, when we were growing up and just learning about all the candy the world had to offer. The crazy fashion styles of the 80s were slowly giving way to the grunge movement. The Cold War raged. The Hubble launched into outer space. Our balls dropped. Most importantly, though, we were developing the all-important sweet tooth. Today, we look a short ways back into the past and ask, You tried that?
You Tried Dat, Candy episode number 2. We're here to look at when we were young. I'm Nick Novak with my pals Chad Hancock.
Howdy.
Nick Geiger.
Hey guys!
My balls haven't dropped yet.
I don't have any balls. I don't even know what they are.
This is the most bizarre start to an episode ever.
Now, before we get into these famous 80s candies, I have to ask you, Novak, which of these three 80s candies was actually only manufactured 2 years ago?
These I know.
You fuck up.
I'm pretty confident about these because I do remember seeing them as a kid. But do you guys? What candy did you eat when you were growing up?
Well, I think we all know what I'm going to say.
Big suspense. Yeah.
Fuckload of Reese's. I was a lot more into M&Ms growing up than I am now. Like, I'm talking plain M&Ms. Like, now I'll still fuck with peanut butter or peanut M&Ms, but I rarely get with plain M&Ms.
You're so fucking hip.
Now I'll still fuck with peanut butter.
Yeah. Yo, I fucks with peanut butter. What? Okay.
But as a kid, I used to eat a lot of plain M&Ms, I think, and used to fuck with them. No, I don't. We parted ways. I said peace out to them plain M&Ms.
Yeah.
See you on the flip side.
I fucks with them Snickers, and for sure I fucks with them M&Ms, bruh. I don't know enough slang to keep that going. I think
you used to think that M&Ms were on fleek.
Yeah, they were on fleek, and they were.
Now they're just turned. Now
I think Skittles are doing the most. Isn't that one? No.
What candy did you eat?
No, there was my candy intake was kind of more limited as a kid. My mom kind of watched it pretty close, but I like Snickers a lot. I liked Butterfinger a lot when I was a kid. I don't eat it as much anymore because that shit gets wedged so far in your teeth and stays there for days. But I was a big Butterfinger guy, and I also liked M&Ms a lot. Like I'm still a stand for the plain M&Ms. I love just regular old chocolate M&Ms.
Yeah, I think I ate way more M&Ms. My M&M intake was very high as a kid, and also Butterfinger. I went through a huge Butterfinger phase. I ate a lot of Junior Mints for some reason. I had like a Junior Mint kick.
I love Junior Mints.
They are good. But I just don't eat them much anymore. And I don't think I had a lot of candy around my house. I seem to remember eating just like lame-o candy like butterscotch and stuff like that. So maybe that's why I'm like eat a lot of candy bars now, because I was denied.
I ate a lot of Hershey's Kisses as a kid too.
Yeah, that's true.
That was a big thing that I ate as a kid that now I don't really do that much.
I've been eating Hershey Kisses more now because my kids got a bunch for Christmas, and there's some with like mint inside and some with like cherry inside. They're actually pretty good. Are there any candies like when you guys went like for Halloween or whatever, and you got your bucket of stuff and you dumped it all out? Or there's stuff where you're like, crap, like you still ate it but you just don't like? I remember Biddo Honey. It's just like, I hate these. And I would still eat them. I don't know why, but I just did not like them at all. So stuff like that where you just a popular-ish candy that you really don't like.
I wouldn't eat the Mr. Good bars or Crackles. To me, those are gross, and yeah, nothing else sticks it. Chad, you like Mr. Goodbar, don't you?
I really like Crackle, actually. I didn't eat Junior Mints, actually. That you mentioned those, I would always get rid of the Junior Mints, and Skittles too, like fruit flavored stuff. I usually pass on.
I'm also not a big like licorice guy. Like Twizzlers are fine, but to me they have a really bad aftertaste. I really don't like them that much.
Yeah, I still will pass on the licorice. No licorice for me.
Yeah, it's no good.
Oh, well,
don't fuck with it.
On a completely unrelated note, Do you guys ever get haircuts when you were a kid?
Yeah, I did.
So I recently got a haircut.
You look great.
Good to know.
So I get it.
I recently took a shit, so let's all continue talking about our day.
I actually got my hair cut today.
I am more likely to tell somebody I got a haircut than took a shit. So I'm not sure it's equivalent.
Did mine take about as long, though?
What?
I'm kidding.
So I sit in the chair, and I don't go to expensive places, so they don't like take you to the back and wash your hair before they cut your hair. They just sit you in the chair. And so my hair's dry going in, obviously. So the lady just starts spritzing, like with the sprayer bottle, water all over my head to get the hair wet. And she keeps going. Like, she's spraying so much water. It's like dripping down my face and like the sides of me. And I think she's like, for a minute, I think she's like had a stroke and her hand is like stuck firing the water. I'm like, what is going on? But like at no point do I ask, hey, like maybe knock it off with the water. You know,
Stop bukkake-ing me with the spray bottle.
She fucks with the water.
And so I realized, like, what, I don't know if you guys have a line where you draw of when there's some kind of service you're getting done and people are doing something that's bizarre, that you just don't like stop them. You just like let it continue, or you tell someone to stop, like that's enough. Like how bad would they have to be messing up your hair to be like, whoa, hey, knock it off?
I definitely, as a kid, one time got the haircut and then wasn't happy with the results. I was probably like 10 and I was afraid to say anything. And then I remember we got out to the car and my mom could tell that I was like super unhappy and like, I don't know, I think on the verge of tears or something. And she was like, what's up that? And I'm like, my hair's not short enough. And so she like brought me back in and then like made me like say to the woman, like tell her that like I wanted my hair like a little bit shorter or whatever.
Made you say, tell her she fucked up.
And then she rubbed her nose in the hair on the bottom of the chair or whatever.
But other than that, I told the story before about how there's like a local coffee shop and they think my name is Charlie still to this day.
Yeah.
Right.
And for the first like 4 or 5 months that I was going in there, I want to get my chai latte with non-fat milk because, you know, I fucks with the healthy. And this 600 calorie drink, I reduce it by 20 calories by getting non-fat milk. But anyways, I noticed that the guy there's a couple employees all knew my name, and the guy that worked there, he would always get the milk wrong, and he would just grab the regular milk and pour it in. And I never said anything. I was just like, oh, fine, I'll still drink it. Like, basically tastes the same. And that went on for like 4 or 5 months until finally I was like, hey, could you actually do non-fat like I asked? And then he was like, oh, I'm sorry. And then he was totally cool about it, of course. So, as a normal person would be. So I probably should have spoke up 4 months sooner and told them 3 years ago that my name's not Charlie. So.
You're very accommodating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think similar to Chad, I was supposed to have like a buzz cut. And it just looked all floofy dandelion style when it was done. And I was like pretty upset. My mom even was like, I don't like that. So we went back and got it again. But like,
you wanted it more of hydrangea style instead of dandelion style.
Right. Yeah. Like an azalea. When we went back though, like I liked going and get my haircut because it was right next to this ice cream parlor. So we would go get ice cream afterward. So I was looking forward to that. I remember being annoyed one time. Like I used to go in like college in Milwaukee. There was one in the mall near where I worked, and it was owned by this dude, and I think someone else in his family, and it was either a man or a woman you would get. And the woman was super cool, would like chat and stuff. I don't like talking during haircuts. It's weird. I'm a social person, but when I'm getting my haircut, I just want to sit there, cut my hair, and then I want to leave. I don't really like chatting with somebody. But she was actually pretty cool when we would talk. But the guy was like this Greek guy, and he would just the whole time try to sell me highlights. Like, oh, you should frost your tips, dude. And I'm like, I don't want to frost my tips. oh, you look great with frosted tips, you know. And then I'm like, nah, I'm good, man, thanks. And he would cut my hair, and then he's like,
was he switching accents every time he said it?
yes. And he was like, hello, yar. Would you like frosted tips? He's also pirate. But he would be.
I can see a pirate's pushing frosted tips.
Yeah, it was pretty odd. Yar, it wards against scurvy. No, I mean we're like in the thing, and he's like showing. He's like holding. Blackbeard was only Blackbeard for a while, and then he was frosted tip beard. But like, he was like, he would hold up the mirror and he'd go, you like? It'd be a lot better with frosted tips. I was shut up with the fucking frosted tips. But I was like, it was affordable and it was quick, and they gave me a good haircut. But he was obnoxious the whole time, just trying to sell me. I'm like, I don't want them. So I finally stopped going there.
I stopped going to the haircut place closest to our house because they wouldn't stop trying to sell me hair product. Like sell their shampoo and stuff, which I understand they're running a business, but I just hated it. So I'm like, I'm just not going there anymore. So.
Well, they got to ask you once, right? Like that's their job, I think.
There's a convenience store, like a little corner store, literally a block and a half from my house, and it's like the closest place. Like if there was like, oh, I need to go pick up like some milk or at last minute or some emergency thing, it would be a 30-second walk to get there, and I refuse to go there. Like I will go 3 times as far to go to the grocery store or any other store because the guy, he always tries to upsell you on his homemade baba ganoush. And so you come in every time, he's like, have some baba ganoush. It's homemade. It's baba ganoush. Come on, you'll love the baba ganoush. And he won't shut up about his fucking baba ganoush. And so, like, I refuse to go to that place now.
I hate being sold anything. I really hate, like, I don't, like, if a guy comes by and says, like, can I help you? I'm like, I'll find you when I need something. Because there's certain things you need, like, I don't know, car salesman or something. But
yeah, I
know, and I think I get that from my dad a little bit. This is going to be a big surprise to you guys, but my dad doesn't really like talking to salespeople. And we were he would hate Best Buy because those guys, I think, get paid almost solely on commission. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but they would come and really give you the hard sell a lot. And he'd be like, I remember he went there one time. He was trying to buy a printer, and he's like, okay. And they're like, can I help you? He's like, no, I don't. I need to buy a printer. I'll come find you if I have any questions. Okay, great. He walks away. 10 seconds later, hey, can I help you? He's like, leave me alone. I'm looking for a printer. I'll tell you when I need help. So finally, he does need help, and he goes and gets it. He goes, okay. How much is this printer right here? He's like, well, I mean, I really think you should look at this model. It's got all these features. He goes, I don't want to know about that model. I need to know how much this one is right here. The guy started talking about another printer again. He goes, look, either you're going to sell me this printer today if I like the price, or I'm walking out. If you bring up one other printer, I'm leaving. And he's getting kind of loud. And the guy just goes, I just really think this is the best. He goes, see ya! And he just like turns around and walks out of the building. Now, granted, the guy was being dumb. Like, just tell us what the fucking price of the printer is. But I was like crying. I was like, I think I was like a teenager or something. I was just cracking up. This poor guy is desperately trying to upsell $5 extra on a printer.
I think your dad, I remember you saying he was extra pissed because they had messed up his frosted tips earlier in the day.
Yeah, his frosted tips weren't on fleek, and he didn't have any Axe body spray. And he was heading down to the beach later, and he wanted to look good for everybody. So he was trying to print out a picture of the haircut so he could give it to the guy.
The picture of the dad that we have painted for our listeners of your dad is a guy with frosted tips who hates salesmen and loves reindeer condoms. So that's your dad.
Yeah. Oh, update on that. Actually, so
update on that. He's now banged through all of them. Donner through Rudolph.
Update on that. Vixen is pregnant. One of the condoms broke. No, we were at Christmas. He came over for Christmas on like the 28th or whatever. And we're sitting down to eat, and my sister is there as well, who's a fan of the podcast. And he started bringing up again how he's like, I was wearing a Badger shirt, and I was at the grocery store, and this kid thought I was Santa. And my sister just looks at me, grinning, and I'm like, uh-huh. And I'm like, that's far from saying, were you buying condoms? And he would have just had no clue what the fuck I was talking about. But and he's like, yeah, and I was just telling him, like, Santa's watching, and her mom was laughing, and then, like, my sister is literally covering her face and shaking at the dinner table because she can't look at me right now. I was cracking up. If he only knew the second life he's taken on in my podcast. as the weirdest fucking guy of all time.
Geiger, do you remember the guy who we both went to get a haircut from? I thought you did in college. And he'd give you the haircut, and then at the end, he'd go to show you the mirror to see how it looked. But on one side of the back side of the mirror, he had a cutout from a magazine of a monkey.
That's right.
And he would hold it in front of your face and
Dumbest
go,
joke
"What do you
ever."
think?" And you did it every time.
Yeah.
And you had to like kind of pretend to laugh. You're like, "Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's a
Dude,
monkey.
it's so awkward."
Yeah. I also remember I was at this one Supercuts in Milwaukee one time after I had left the guy because I was sick of the frosted tips shit. And this lady, she was like this kind of like this old lady, and she would pin my head to her stomach, like hold my head to her stomach with one hand and cut with the other. So my like ear was pressed up against her belly, and then she burped, and it was the gross. I could hear it in her stomach. she just goes, no. She goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We had burritos for lunch or something." I'm like, I don't. Get me the fuck out of here.
What was the name of this place?
It's Supercuts. It was a Supercuts. So gross. Ugh.
Supercuts more like supper cuts, am I right?
Yeah.
She was eating.
Nice.
And burping.
Yeah.
Boom. That's that comedy I'm known for.
Yeah.
Then did she say, "Yar, too many coconuts"?
Oh yeah, there's a burrito, huh? Where's my frosted tips?
Yar, let's play a game of just the frosted tip. So
Here's a frosted tip. Leave me alone.
I remember on my wedding day, actually, I went to this.
You what?
To this on my on my wedding day.
I don't. What day?
You fucking asshole. I'm just gonna leave that as is. No one will understand. So I went to this fancy.
So we're sorry. Okay, well, I'm dominated.
I went to this fancy hair salon in Japantown because I wanted to get like a really nice haircut for the day, right? And it's one of those places where they do like like shampoo, and then they give you like a scalp massage and stuff before they do the haircut. And the guy was great. He gave me a great haircut. Everything looked awesome. But I remember during the thing, like while he's cutting my hair, he starts asking me like, why, like what I'm up to that day. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting married today." And then he says like, "Oh, what are you going to do for your honeymoon?" And I'm like, "Actually, we're going to Egypt and Ethiopia for our honeymoon." So then he's like, and he's dead serious. And I don't know if it was a little bit of a language barrier because, he was originally from Japan, but he's dead serious. He says to me, "So, okay, the pyramids, they had to be made by aliens, right?" And like, he was just total straight face. And I was kind of looked at him and I'm like, well, I mean, that's a theory. Probably slaves, but could have been aliens. And he's like, "Yeah, he starts telling me how he read something about how they were actually made by aliens, and just because there's no possible way that they would have had the technology to like, make those back then." And I was like, "I'm pretty sure if you throw, thousands and thousands of slaves at something, you can pretty much accomplish anything." So
That is bizarre.
But hey, gave me a great haircut, so he can think whatever weird shit he wants.
We're only talking about shitty haircuts right now.
Yeah.
So how wet did you let her get your head before you finally like cut her off?
She's still spraying my head right now.
Man, Novak, you sweating? Oh, it's a chick behind you spraying your face repeatedly.
Just picture me walking out of the haircut place, just sopping wet, like whipping my arms to the ground, just water flying off me. So I did not give her a tip for
frosted or otherwise.
Make a frosted tip joke. But is it about time that we tip off our competition? And we've got 3 snacks we're going to be rating. All candy bars from yesteryear. And we used a 5-point scale. A love that, like that, indifferent to that, dislike that, and hate that. So we'll break up the 2 chocolate ones, and let's start with the Whatchamacallit, since Chad's working with half a bar here. So the Whatchamacallit, I remember being kind of popular when we were younger, but then just a decade or so went by without me ever seeing one on the shelf. And I don't really find it much anymore, but I think this is one that most people maybe have tried once or twice in their life, maybe.
I'm almost sure I've had it. I could not tell you what it tastes like at all.
I don't know if I've had it or not. It says it's made with chocolate, peanut-flavored crisps, and caramel. All things I like, so this has potential. But yeah, as you alluded to, I have a half-eaten bar on my hands because somebody in my house, someone who will remain unnamed, was craving Whatchamacallit and ate half of my chocolate bar.
Was it your dog?
Mm-hmm. Yes, It was my dog, and he's now dead.
All right.
The one cool thing about your dog is that he has frosted tips, which most dogs don't have.
My dog would look ridiculous with frosted tips.
Unlike most dogs.
Just to give a visual, yeah.
My dog would look sick, bruh.
I have one of those dreadlock dogs, so if you're by your computer or your phone or whatever, just Google Puli, P-U-L-I. That's the kind of dog I have, and so just imagine that with frosted tips.
I bet you Spuds McKenzie had frosted tips.
There are definitely dogs in my neighborhood that like have dyed hair. You know what I mean? Like the at the local dog wash that we take my dog to. The one of the women that works there, she brings her dog in all the time, and her dog is like one of those little white, like shitty little toy dogs or whatever. And it's supposed to be white, but it's always like different colors. Like she's like every time I come in, it's got like streaks of purple or like blue or whatever. Nicest lady in the world, but her dog looks fucking horrible. Anyway, how about this candy?
I feel like I've eaten something like it before. I can't put my finger on it.
It's very crunchy.
It's, you really can. The crispy part of it, the crisps, are pretty prevalent. Every now and then we'll have these where they're kind of real spread out, but that's a big part of this bar. I don't get a lot of peanut flavor. It's there, but it's not real strong.
It's more there for me in the aftertaste than it is when you're biting it.
Yep, that's fair.
Geiger, you're going to lead us off with a rating.
Whatchamacallit? Like that. How about you, Chad? It's no, it's good. It's like I said, it's solid. It's
Mr. Words.
Yeah, I'm very verbose. No, it's I don't love crispy stuff in a candy bar, but for some reason this works with this, and I like that it's peanut flavored, but not. I almost like that you can kind of taste the peanut more in retrospect than while you're eating it. It makes no sense, but it just fits for some reason. It's got a pleasant, like the flavor all the way through is good. There's enough caramel. I think it's proportioned well. The chocolate's fine. It's tasty. It's like that. I like it.
All right, starts with a like, Chad.
I agree. This thing has really, really excellent proportions. It's like a 36, 24, 36 of candy bars.
Yeah.
Only if she's 5'3". Anyway, it's a Sir Mix-a-Lot reference. So anyway, yeah, it's a really good candy bar.
I got it.
I actually wish the peanut butter was a little bit stronger flavor, but even so, I think this thing is delicious. I'm giving it a love dat.
Whoa.
Ooh.
This thing's outstanding. Yeah, it's a great bar.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to add this to my rotation.
It is a good bar, and I have had it in the past. I actually remember picking it up not just out of curiosity, but because I wanted one before. The crisps are, for me, the one thing slightly out of proportion that's going to keep it from a love dat, because I do like all the taste. I would take away 20% crisp and add 20% peanut butter or peanut flavor. I think it needs a little more of that to really be a perfect bar. So because of that, I'm going to give it a like that and a super strong start for the Whatchamacallit. Let's move over. Let's switch gears and try out the Mamba. The Mamba Fruit Chews is another thing I remember seeing quite a bit as a kid and not so much anymore. This comes in. It says there's 18 fruit chews in here,
and it says 4 flavors: orange, strawberry, lemon, and raspberry. So do we have to try all 4 flavors here, I guess?
Yeah, I think so.
This contains wheat? It's kind of odd.
Oh, how is it? This is.
Wait, I only have 3 flavors in here. So I have lemon,
Yeah, so
Oh, it's 4 mini packages. Yeah, so do I.
lemon, strawberry, and orange are the only ones I have. So I didn't get.
It says
I didn't get raspberry.
selected from. Yeah, it says selected from. So you get 3 of the 4. That's kind of odd.
That's okay. Raspberry is the worst of those flavors, anyways. So I don't mind that I missed out on it.
I have raspberry, lemon, and orange. I don't have the strawberry, which is unfortunate because that's my favorite of those.
Yeah, I have the exact same combo, and I agree. I would like to have the strawberry, especially because I can't eat real strawberries.
Okay, so should we just try the orange and lemon first?
Yeah, let's do lemon first. This is a really odd packaging. I've never seen individual sets of 3 packages inside of a package.
This is wasteful.
This is Inception packaging. Like there's the main package, then little packages, and then inside even smaller.
Wait, hold on. Each piece is wrapped too. There's 3 layers of packaging.
Saying.
This is dumb as fuck.
It's fucking Inception, bro.
Stupid piece of shit, Mamba. What, they just got a bunch of paper laying around?
That was really hard.
It was very lemony as well. What do you guys call lemon flavored stuff in general?
I like lemon flavored, like lemon chicken and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. But that's a real lemon. I mean, like,
yeah, I like it in a dish.
I don't like lemon heads. This just tastes like I'm chewing on like a sponge with lemon dish soap on it. Not very good.
when have you done that?
I don't know.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on to orange.
I don't know.
All right, orange next.
Did you guys finish the lemon one? I spit it out.
I finished it.
Yeah, I managed to choke down that 2 ounces of candy.
It's about a centimeter.
It's too much candy for one man to handle.
1 centimeter by 2 centimeters. Okay, the orange one is lemon colored.
Mm-hmm.
Are they all the exact same color?
They all have very faint colors. Yeah, they're all like very, like almost white. Or they are white, kind of.
Orange one's a little bit better than the lemon, I think.
Geiger, you know what this one tastes like?
What?
Chewing on a sponge with orange flavored dish soap.
Uh-huh.
Stay tuned for my raspberry. All right.
All right, I'm digging into the strawberry.
A weird market for raspberry flavored dish soap.
I hope you guys enjoy chewing sounds.
Yeah. All our ASMR fans are loving this.
All right, Chad, you're going to have to fill us in on the strawberry. And
The strawberry is actually a different color. It's a lot more pink.
we'll give you the raspberry lowdown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, raspberry is very pink.
Strawberry is definitely the best of these 3, by far.
Man, these are work to chew.
Uh-huh.
I would also say I like the raspberry the best of the 3.
I don't find this...
You know, what would you just say tastes like?
Well, it reminds me of this time I was doing the dishes, and I fell to the ground having a seizure, and
Mm-hmm.
the sponge, as I fell, was resting precariously
Mm-hmm.
on the edge of the counter. And I lay on the ground
Right.
with my mouth agape, and the sponge, as it would have it, would fall off the counter and land in such a position
Oh, no, you don't say.
as it landed directly in my mouth.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What flavor was that soap that was in there?
It was just regular dish soap. But I later that day, I had a bunch of raspberries.
Oh, yeah. Later that day after your stroke.
Later that day, indeed.
I got out of the hospital and went straight to the Mambas. And... All right. Chad, you're going to lead us off here.
The raspberry's making, like, who is?
Me.
Chad?
The raspberry has caused me to lose my hearing.
No, the raspberry, like, you ever get that eye twitch when something's kind of like tart? Ooh.
No, you're having a stroke.
Ah, here's some dishes.
These are tough. So I'm gonna average the flavor of these out, the 3 flavors for an overall score. The lemon was very bad. I spit it out. The orange was very bad. I spit it out. The strawberry was kind of bad. I did not spit it out.
So what's the average of that?
Yeah. The numeric value of I spit it out.
The average is 2 spits and a swallow. also known as a fun orgy. So that doesn't even make sense. All right, so
What do you think an orgy is?
I don't clearly don't know.
3 blowjobs, according to you. I mean, I'll take it. I'm just saying.
I'll take it and give it. So, yeah, so that's basically an average of 2 hates and a dislike, which is a hate dat. These are getting a hate dat. They're too hard to chew. My mouth kind of hurts from just chewing them, and it's just not worth it. So, hate dat for me.
Your mouth hurts.
Your mouth hurts.
My mouth hurts from spitting twice and swallowing.
You're
once.
not going to be the guy spitting and swallowing if your mouth hurts from chewing these Mambas. I can't. They're not good. They all taste bad. The raspberry had the most hope in it. The orange was probably the best of my 3. I can't give it a hate, though. It's not as bad as a lot of these things that I give a hate to. I could easily get through each flavor, but they're bad. I can't recommend them. The flavor is just not good. It's like faint, and I can't recommend it. I'm going to have to give it a dislike dat. Geiger?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I remember liking these as a kid. I guess maybe, when you're a kid, you don't have the most sophisticated palate.
Kids are dumb.
I've since moved on to much more. I moved on to much more sophisticated food like Cool Ranch Doritos. All the flavor is real artificial. Like it's very medicinal tasting almost. Like it tastes like the lemon and orange especially tasted like medicine you'd eat that was flavored like yellow lemon and orange to make it go down okay. It's like I'm eating Dimetap or something. I'd take the raspberry over the other 2, but I'm with you guys. I don't hate them. I mean, but they're not good. I dislike that for me as well.
2 dislikes and a hate, so a very bad showing. And
it's a mirror image of the Whatchamacallit, which had 2 likes and a love.
All right.
Yeah.
So that does it for the Mamba, and it's segment time. Chad?
All right, so we got a new segment that we're going to try out. So this segment I'm calling Dis or Dat. And so basically what we're going to do is I've got 5 pairs of things. We're just going to run through each topic. And then for each topic, you just pick which of those 2 things you would choose. And then, sort of explain why. And we'll just go from there. Sound good?
Yeah.
Do it.
All right. So some of these are food themed, some of them not. So the first one, beef or pork? Beef or pork? Dis or dat? Geiger, why don't you go first?
That's a brutal start.
Nobody said this was going to be easy. This is why we get paid the big bucks on this podcast.
Mr. Beef.
Oh, shit. We're getting paid? Look at me. It's Mr. Beef. I think I love pork. I love pulled pork. I love bacon. Bacon's the hardest thing about the pork to have to downgrade it, but I am going to go beef. Only because I love steak. I love chili and burgers and beef stew. And I like beef in general. I'm sure I could substitute other things for those things. Well, not really steak, but that I probably eat more beef than I do pork. Certain parts of there is certain preparations of pork that I just don't like. Pork chops I like pork chops. But it's harder for me to get excited about a pork chop. Or like hot dogs that I really don't eat that much. So it's beef for me. I think beef you can do more things with.
I don't think hot dog is beef or pork, isn't it, Mr.
Well,
Meat?
it's like lips and assholes and stuff. Yeah, but
That's an easier one for me. I like them. I like them both, but pork is not in the same league as beef in my book, so I'm going with the beef.
I think this is very hard because on the beef side, you've got steaks and you've got burgers. But beyond those 2, I don't really have any use for beef. It has to be a very good steak or really any burger. But on the pork side, you've got bacon is great, ham, pulled pork. Pork ribs are usually better than beef ribs. But then the negative is I'm not a big fan of pork chop. Usually it's too dry. So this is actually pretty tough. But I eat, even though I love burgers, I eat pork more often. So I'm actually going to go pork
Ooh,
for this one.
I've got a real beef with your choice of pork.
Wonderful. Okay. Next up, this one probably a little bit easier for most of us. Coffee or tea? Novak, coffee or tea?
Well, I don't drink coffee. Don't get it.
Yep.
I actually was talking about with somebody about this recently. I feel like kind of a certain kinship with people who don't drink coffee because I feel like it's us against the world type of a deal, where so many people drink coffee.
Yeah, you're so oppressed.
Look.
Yeah, what are they doing to you?
I'm working my
Who
way.
gives a shit?
I'm working my way into. Damn it! I'm going to be a minority of some kind. It's going to be the non-coffee drinker. Okay, I was born a white middle-class male, so now it's coffee, and I think anyone who drinks coffee should die. So I'm going.
Wow. Is that what you think being a minority is? It's just you want the majority to die? All right. I certainly hope not as a white male.
That explains some of the Breitbart in your browsing history, Novak.
Yeah.
But do you drink tea, Novak?
I drink it on occasion, but not regularly. I'd say no more than once a week. So I just don't drink a lot of hot beverages. So it's definitely tea for me. I live in a house that is coffee all the time because my wife's nuts about coffee. But I'm going with tea. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'm also huge tea.
Huge tea. I do call you huge tea.
Yeah.
You're Mr. T. Oh, wait, that's taken.
Yeah, you can call me Huge Hammerwig. Because, yeah, I get the chai lattes all the time. At work, I'm constantly drinking tea. I usually have tea in a lot of evenings. Can't stand coffee. And Geiger, you're Mr. Coffee?
Oh, yeah. You know me, Huge T. I fucks with coffee. I drink a fuck ton of coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. First thing I consume every day, basically the first thing that goes into my body is, well, maybe a little bit of toothpaste. But other than that, it's coffee. I probably at work where I have access to a free coffee machine, I would say I probably drink at least 4 or 5 cups, which probably isn't very good for you. And then I'll drink whatever we have at home. Like I'll drink it at all hours of the day. I'll drink it at like 8 o'clock at night, which is probably bad for my sleep. I love coffee. I am the majority.
Gross.
And I will press the shit out of you, Novak.
The coffee thing is too really what I dislike about the coffee. It's too much with I can't go about my day without a cup of coffee.
Sure thing. I look forward to having it in the morning. It's part of my routine. I enjoy it. I can operate without. There's been times in the morning when I haven't had coffee. It's not like I'm like, don't talk to me until I've had I'm not like a walking Kathy cartoon or something like that. It's just, I don't.
Ack.
Yeah, right. So I agree with you about that. Like the people that act like it's like equivalent to oxygen, but I do enjoy drinking it.
Okay, moving on to a non-food topic, unless you have weird dietary habits. Dogs versus cats. Dogs or cats? So
dogs are delicious. Wait, what?
I'll go first on this one. It's pretty easy for me because I actually am allergic to cats. So yeah, and I fucking love dogs. I think they're fantastic. So yeah, this is a no-brainer. Cats I know there are people that really love cats. But to me, I don't understand the point. They're not as friendly or loyal or anything as dogs are. Dogs are just super cool to be around. So slam dunk dogs. Geiger.
Well,
you have both.
You told me separately, like that you just love pussy. That's what you told me. I'm a little surprised by your answer.
I'm a cat hound.
Yeah, a real cat magnet.
Yeah.
No, I did grow. I have one of each in my house. I grew up with cats. We wanted dogs in the house, and my mom did not because she probably rightly assumed she'd be the one taking care of it.
Right.
I like cats. I never wanted a cat. We found a cat kind of by happenstance, like in the bushes next to my house. We adopted it, and it's a great cat. Very friendly. Nothing wrong with it. Given my druthers, even though they are more work, I am a dog person. I enjoy dogs more. They're more fun to play with. They've got more personality. Cats just kind of lay around the house and sleep. Which, if you're kind of like a laid back pet owner, cats are nice because they don't require much effort. But I'd rather have like a fun, loving dog than a cat, probably.
Everyone who likes cats should be killed.
Wow, some strong stances here.
That is one majority that needs to die.
The cats kill mountains. Is that what you?
I had a terrible cat as a kid. Never really liked cats. and then as an adult had allergy testing and was told I was allergic to cats, and it must just be like partially like a small allergen. I sense it if I spend a lot of time around them. I was never so happy to be allergic to something because I don't want any excuse to have a cat in my house. Dogs all the way. I've always had dogs. They're way better than cats. Dogs.
Wait a minute. So, like, are you? So the two of you are allergic to cats. We have like I think what 2 or 3 other friends. Like, are all of you allergic to cats?
We are all paying the allergy guy.
I wasn't allergic to cats. I wasn't allergic to cats my whole life. Like I didn't used to be as a kid, and I used to like have friends with cats. I'd go over to their house. It was fine, no big deal. And then one year I was staying over at our friend Dan's place. He was living in Chicago at the time, and he had a cat. And I remember I was sleeping on like an air mattress on the floor, and his cat was like just crawling all over me all night and stuff. And I remember I woke up that morning.
Wait, what? Well, you did rub whiskers all over your nutsack.
I think he did. The cat was teabagging me for the whole night. And I woke up and my eyes were just like kind of like sort of crusted closed a little bit, and like my nose was all runny and stuff. I'm not saying that Dan's cat made me allergic to cats, but sometime around then I became allergic to cats, and that was the first time I noticed it.
What did this cat that you grew up with do, Novak? What was so bad about it?
I'd walk just through the living room. He'd hide under the couch and jump out and like scratch up my legs, or I'd just be watching television and he'd climb up behind me and like leap onto my neck. Like he really was an angry. I did my best to stay away from this cat. He came to find me, and it was actually really me and our friend Kurt, who listens to the podcast, famously talk about this time when he was sleeping over when we were kids, and the cat just started attacking us, and we had to back it into a bathroom with this blanket, and we closed him in there, and his paw like shot out from under the door and was like reaching up to try to grab us. So yeah,
like a horror
really
movie.
Was it. The cat's name was Momar, and he really was insane. So
Momar.
That's a weird name.
But my brother loved it. My brother still loves cats and has a bunch of cats to this day. All right, what's next?
Next topic, running or biking?
Ugh.
Running or biking? What do you think, Geiger?
Biking, for sure. Running is boring as shit. It's good for you, and I will do it in the context of other things. Like, I would rather, if I could play basketball for like 4 hours poorly, and not notice that I had been running the whole time because there's an objective. When I'm running just to run, it just is so boring. Biking is in the same vein, but at least you're going faster and using some equipment, and you feel like you can see more stuff. And I don't know, I like biking better.
That's really tough, actually. I don't bike that much, just occasionally with my kids. And I've always kind of thought that everyone who likes biking should be killed. But I actually really do hate I really do hate when people bike on major roadways and make me veer into oncoming traffic to get around them. Like that I really hate. And my wife's always like, well, where else am I supposed to bike? I don't, it makes sense. They're like, they're saving the environment and I'm killing it with my gas guzzling car. But I don't need to be slightly inconvenienced. So
this is one of your less popular takes, I think. There's holes in your logic.
But I do like to bike around. Like now that my kids can ride a bike, it is fun to go on bike rides again. I guess I'll go biking.
Wait, so you want to kill yourself? Or do you want to kill all runners then?
This is a cry for help.
Speaking of bikers that deserve to die, there's a thing in San Francisco called critical mass, which is like this group of people that it's probably hundreds of them that get together. I think it's once a month, and they just bike around the city, and there's so many of them, they will take up the entire street, and they'll just pick some route and just bike around the whole city, and they stop all traffic. Like I've only run into them a couple times. So it'll be like you're just downtown and you're just going to sit there while hundreds and hundreds of people bike past you like it's a fucking train that comes out of nowhere or something. And there's nothing you can do except fantasize in your head about just like plowing into them and like the bowling pin sounds it would make as they like all went flying everywhere. But anyways, yeah. So I love to run. Biking's okay, but for me, running is like the best way. I love running as far as a form of exercise. I just put on my headphones, put in like some podcasts or music or something, and just completely zone out. And next thing I know, it's like 10 miles. And so yeah, that's great. So I'll go running. All right. Last but not least, returning to food, cake or pie? Novak, cake or pie?
Ooh, that's tough.
I'm not a big cake or pie fan.
Hot take.
That is right. And anyone
Like the band Cake?
who likes either one of those.
Wait, so what's your dessert of choice then? If you could, like ice cream?
Yeah,
Like,
I
what
would.
you rather?
Yeah, a lot of times if there's
Cookie.
ice cream, cookies, that kind of thing. I will rather eat cake. There are cakes that I like. There's very few pies that I like. I don't even really eat like pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving, which is one that seemingly everybody likes.
Yeah.
But I don't really like apple pie very much. So there's very few pies I like. There are a handful of cakes I like of different slices of cake at different restaurants. So I will go with cake.
That is a flaming hot take. For me, I do love a good pie. There can be some great pies. Especially any kind of pie that's like got like a Oreo crust, like a crushed Oreo crust, like, that sort of pie, or like a peanut butter pie can be great. A really good fruit pie can be good, but cake is where it's at. Chocolate cake is amazing. Like a really good chocolate cake with chocolate frosting is the best dessert on the planet. And even a really good vanilla or yellow cake, again with chocolate frosting, is fantastic. So while a bad cake is probably worse than a bad pie, a good cake is better than even the best pie. So for me, cake. Geiger?
Whew, this is tough. I don't know. So I love carrot cake and I love chocolate cake. I'm with Chad. A good chocolate cake is really up there. However, I think there are more bad cakes than there are bad pies, if that makes sense. So like,
I agree with you.
Like a regular birthday cake or yellow cake or like poppy seed or like lemon cake. Nah, fuck those things.
Birthday
right?
cake fit crunch.
A birthday cake fit crunch. I love pumpkin pie. So good. I love pecan pie is really good. And then like, I guess cheesecake is cake. Boy, this is tough. I'm going to go pie just because I think pie is more consistently good. I would eat more pies than I would eat cakes. Although the best of all the things, like Chad said, I might eat the best chocolate cake in the world over a pie. But I think there's more pies that like outnumber the number of good cakes. And so I would go pie.
That's what I'm saying. Like pie is consistently better, but cake has the higher ceiling, which is why I go with cake.
I'd go to pie just because I think I'd eat it more often.
Do you guys prefer a cake that's like fully frosted all over or just one with frosted tips?
What? The tips of a cake? Isn't that the top? I don't know.
The only time a cake has a tip is if it's shaped like a dong.
Yup, that's the only way. That's a well-known fact.
The old hog cake.
Yeah.
So that's dis or dat.
That was good.
And now it's time to dig into our last snack, and it's the O. Henry. And I'm wondering how this got its name, the O. Henry. What exactly it's supposed to mean, but this one, it says it's 2 peanutty caramel fudge bars and milk chocolate.
Hey guys, you know what you're supposed to do with this if you only want to eat one?
Twist to close.
The return of the great technology, twist to close.
Save some for later. Twist to close. That's what it says.
This is a Nestle product.
Split into 2 bars. What other candy bar has a split like this? I can't think of one.
Well, we tried that Snickers crisper that was like that.
Yeah.
The Snickers peanut butter is also like that. The Reese's Cup.
A lot of the new king size bars.
Yeah, king size Snickers is like that.
Right.
And obviously Twix was always like that.
Side by side instead of
end and side by side.
Hmm.
Oh, Henry.
I think O. Henry has poorly has to go last because we've just eaten so much candy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is a multiple record night, and I am feeling sick.
Awesome.
Not sure what to think about this thing.
It's got a Snickers-y kind of quality.
Yeah.
A little bit,
I don't. Again,
but the consistency is a lot thicker and chewier than a Snickers.
This is another one where I don't really taste much of the peanut or peanut butter. Well, maybe I do. Oh, I got a ton of peanuts in the end here.
The fudge flavor kind of dominates, I think.
This one is tough.
This is tough.
And it's my turn to go first. All right. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's my chat intro. I really like this. I think it's hard to not compare it to the Snickers. The thing about the Snickers that makes this slightly better than this is that the peanuts are a bit crunchier, and this could use that. The fudge is a little heavy. I'm bordering on a love because I do think it's a very good bar.
You like this more than the Whatchamacallit?
I would eat this over the Whatchamacallit
Wow.
in a hot second.
You like it more than the Mambas that you hated?
Over the Whatchamacallit. That's the kind of bullshit opinion from somebody who doesn't like cake or pie. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the only part of me
Do you
that's...
love an asshole?
Hey now. Trying to give a rating here. I'm thinking the only part of me that's keeping this from a love is the fact that we've eaten 2 metric tons of chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's not really fair to the O. Henry bar.
it's not. And that's why I'm going to do the unthinkable. And I'm going to say I love Dat O. Henry.
Wow.
It just hits a lot of the candy bar qualifications that I need. Could use a few more nuts, sure, but what couldn't? And I'm gonna go a love that because I do like it better than the Whatchamacallit, and I gave that a solid like. So a love that for O. Henry. That's Gagger, you're up next.
Yeah. So this O. Henry just needs to wait till its nuts drop like we did in the 80s. I think the reason I like Snickers better than this is because, like you mentioned, Novak, the peanuts are a little crunchier in the Snickers, and there's also a little less. I feel like there's less caramel in the Snickers. I felt like this is a little caramely. I mostly tasted caramel and chocolate. I don't. It's good. My face melted off. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Henry's out in the back frosting his tips. I'll be right back. It's good. I would not say I love it, but I definitely would give it a solid like that. I would, if forced to choose, I think I would prefer the Whatchamacallit. So even though I gave them both like that, I think the Whatchamacallit would be slightly better, but it's very good. I guess that's all I'll say. But it's the peanuts. Like I said, there's not as many in there. It's a little more fudge and caramely for me, and I love the taste of like peanut butter and peanut more. But it's still pretty good.
All right, Chad. Tough call here for you.
So now wait a minute. What's on the line? If he gives it a love dat, does it win? Yeah, obviously it does because there'd be 2 love dats.
Yeah, if he gives it a like, we're gonna tie. I have a feeling this is gonna be between a like and an indifferent. I'm thinking that's where he's going.
Yeah, he kind of was shocked at your love dat, I think.
I feel like I ate a different bar than you guys. I'm really surprised you guys like this so much. The consistency is like way too thick and chewy.
Those are words I like.
It was a little too hard to bite, and
Yep.
the fudge flavor is overwhelming.
Perfect.
That's right.
Yep. Like I like it. Tastes like shit. Oh, tell me more.
I don't think there's enough peanut in it, and I think the majority of people who like this over Whatchamacallit is a majority that should all die. So, but it's not that bad. So I'm just I did eat the half, the one half that I got. So there are some redeeming qualities in there. The caramel's good. So yeah, this is just going to balance out to an indifferent to that for me.
Mm.
You son of a bitch! You dragged it down. The Whatchamacallit is going to get the victory here, and maybe deservedly so. It's a very quality bar, pretty light, much lighter than the O. Henry, for sure. Both good bars, and the Mamba was awful, as we all agreed.
Yeah.
But a couple good candy bars here, and I think, in looking at the scoreboard, that the 80s / early 90s has beaten the old-timey candy as a whole. So we got two very solid candy bars. And just the candy bars of a modern day to come to see who wins the battle. But Geiger, where can they find out more information or contact us?
They can email us at youtrydat@gmail.com. They can go find our Facebook group. They can hashtag You Tried Dat on Twitter. They can SoundCloud. They can YouTube. I'm going to use that in a sentence that doesn't make sense. They can Instagram. And they can go to ifuckswiththat.com and say, I fucks with You Tried Dat. They can also contact the guy that used to own that hair place if they want their tips frosted. He cannot wait. He's just sitting at the edge of his couch with a bottle of whatever the shit that they put on your hair to frost it with, bleach, I don't know, whatever. He cannot wait to frost dem tips. So,
what was his actual nationality? Because first he was like, hey, get your tips frosted. And then he was like, I frosted you tips. The next time.
In Russia, tips frost you. Now, I believe he was Greek. I think he was Greek. Because he kept saying like, hey, I'm Greek. I want to frost your tips. He just kept saying that.
What's a Greek accent?
Greek. I
It's
don't know.
a me, Greek guy. Hey, you want some pasta? You want some pizza? Hey, I'm a Greek.
Pizza? Olive oil.
What?
Euros. I don't know.
That guy's having a stroke, isn't he?
I don't know. Who's some famous Greek people we can John Stamos and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Have mercy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cool.
Do you know any Greek people, Novak?
No, that's why. John Stamos, is he taken already?
You know what? Some of Betsy's good friends are Greek, so I guess she could tell me what they say.
Hey! Some of my best friends are Greek. All right, so it's okay for me to make all these jokes.
Hey, some of my best friends are coffee drinkers. Okay, I can knock them all I want, or kill them.
Yeah.
Some of my best friends are pirates.
Yarr. Oh, give me that O. Henry.
Like Garrett Cole.
Yeah. Garrett Cole. Oh, Jesus, that's a terrible joke. I'm like, what? Two people on this listen to this podcast will get that one.
All right. Well, that'll do it for our second candy episode. 2 more to go for Candy Month here in February. And we'll check you out next time when we'll be trying 3 brand new snacks.
Deuces.
Yep.